Hello, my name's Tony and welcome back to Predicted, and in today's episode we have a special guest. This is my cousin, Kev.
Hi.
We're going to be doing a comparison of the three Sauvages that are available in store at the moment. Kev doesn't know an awful lot about fragrance. I wouldn't call him a frag head the same as me. He does like fragrances, but I don't think he has the same sort of passion or weirdness that I've got about it.
If something smells good, it smells good.
Well, there you go.
That's about it.
So we're going to be, he wants to get himself Sauvage, he's told me that. He didn't, I don't think, even knew that three different versions existed on the shelf.
Just knew it was Sauvage. That was it, Dior Sauvage.
Yeah, there we go. So I've spoken to him about the differences, but he's never smelt, he knows what Sauvage smells like, but he doesn't know which one he's tried. So I think that's quite common. You look at the bottles on the shelf and they look quite alike. They just have the different label on them of what they are. So you've got the EDT, the Eau de Toilette, you've got the EDP, which came next, and then we've got the Parfum. So what are the differences? We've looked up the notes. There's not a lot of difference in the notes. I say there's not a lot of difference. There are some differences there, but they do share the same DNA. I know what my favourite is. I'm going to try not to lean Kevin to his favourite. I want him to pick his favourite. Yeah. But it's more to educate the people that are going into Boots, for example. There are other stores available, but if you go into Boots and you see them on the shelf and you just pick the bottle up because it's got Sauvage on it, have you picked up the one that was potentially the one you like the least? That's what we're trying to get people to avoid. What we're going to do, I've pre-sprayed some cards, and on those cards are the three. I've just numbered them, so Kevin doesn't know in which order that I've sprayed them. So he is blind testing these, and we'll see if he can tell any differences between them. Yeah. So what we'll do firstly is get you to test the first one. Just give us your thoughts on them and what you think. So this is number one. And I'll put on the screen what they are as we do it. So okay. This is number one.
So I have no idea which one this is. You can smell the sweetness. And it smells like Sauvage.
Yeah.
Okay.
A nice smell. So number two, we'll go straight on to number two. And again, I'll put that on the screen there.
See, to me, that's not as sweet as the first one.
Mm-hmm.
You can still smell it Sauvage. Yep. But it's odd, because as you said, I would have picked up what or not known, but they smell, to me, completely different.
Yeah, they do.
And as I say, I don't know anything about aftershaves perfumes really, other than I like the smell of them. This smells completely different to the first one, yep. But you can still smell it Sauvage. It's odd.
So if you need, once you've smelt this one, if you need to go back between them, that's the third one.
Again, you can smell the sweetness. Smell them again.
So that's 1 and 3.
That's got a completely different smell, one to the other two, I think.
And you pick 2 and 3 up and see if you get any differences between those.
So these two are more similar, 2 and 3.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think 3 is slightly sweeter. It's slightly, I don't know. 2 is maybe a bit softer, but it's not as sweet. I think I prefer 2.
Okay, and what do you them? 2 is your favourite, you think?
I think 1's my least favourite because it's too much for me. Mm-hmm. 3 is softer, but I think I like 2. Yeah, 2 is probably the one I'd go with.
We'll reveal what they are. So I agree with a lot of what you've said there actually, and as you're speaking about them, I know what they are, and I am getting your response to see if you get the same thing as what other people get, and certainly what I get from it. Yeah. And one of the things that you said was 3 was softer. Yeah. And I agree with that 100%. So number 3, we'll go in reverse order, and this was your second favourite.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So number 3 was your second favourite, and that was the EDP. Okay, so the EDT came first. Your favourite was the EDT. The EDT, it settles down, the dry down is fantastic. This is, in my opinion, the one that lasts the longest as well. Yeah. And it's the one that shouts the most.
Yeah, that's how I felt. It wasn't, the one that I liked least, I think was number 1, was it was just overpowering, but this one just had something. It was just something about it that stood out.
One thing that people do say about that one though is it can come across as quite synthetic.
Okay.
So it's got that. It's got probably the strongest DNA of the three because it's the original, and it really does shout. It's quite loud. It performs like a beast, by the way. So if that's your favourite, if you worried about spraying it on and not getting value for money, you'll get, most people get 8 to 10 hours from it. So you can spray it on in the morning. You probably wouldn't need to chuck it in a bag or anything. You just go and off you go. So for that, it is brilliant. Number 3, which was the softer, you're 100% right. It was made to be softer. Some of the things that people mentioned in 2 is that it's quite loud and quite shouty. So they softened it down for DDP. But the problem was the performance wasn't as good.
Yeah.
So it's a bit softer.
See, that's probably something I'd wear to work rather than wearing out. As in, it's not overpowering. It's not like, oh my god, this is too much.
That works for that. And number 1, maybe if you're going out on a night out.
Yeah, because it's stronger.
Yeah, because it's stronger and it will last if you're sweating and dancing and stuff like that. Number 1, we don't do that anymore.
We're too old.
We're too old for that now. And number 1 was the Parfum. Just smell that one again for me.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot sweeter than the other 2.
Yeah, see, I didn't want to lead you at all, but the Parfum is my favourite. Let me show you the bottle. So I've got the Parfum. There's the proof that Kevin has actually smelt these. And we've got a couple of testers. So we've got the EDT and we also have the EDP. So just so you can see that we have sprayed. So yeah, presentation though on these bottles, I think you'll agree.
Yeah.
Magnetic cap. Really, really good looking bottles.
It's just so strange how similar they all are. Just as you said, I would never have noticed which one was which just from looking at the bottle.
Yep.
Like, I wouldn't look into detail.
And you know what? I don't think you'll be completely disappointed if you picked any of them up.
As I said at the beginning, they all smell really similar.
Yeah.
But because I'm smelling them to test them, as in to judge on which one's best, you can pick them out. But if you just picked them all up, you wouldn't really notice a difference.
No, they smell like Sauvage, don't they? And then you take them in, you just take one away. Yeah. The one thing people might be a bit disappointed with if they pick one up and they wanted it for clubbing and they were a 20-year-old wanting it for clubbing, and you pick up the Eau de Parfum, for example, or Parfum, you might be a bit more disappointed you haven't got the original.
Yeah, I haven't got the same.
So look out for it. So if you want it shoutier and louder and you want it for going out and stuff, I think you'll agree with that, the EDT. If you want something a bit softer, then you maybe go for the EDP. It won't last as long, but if you're going out for a few hours with friends or something, or going out for dinner with someone, that works quite well for that. Parfum is my favourite, but I think that's because of the slight added sweetness, slightly thicker and slightly creamier with the sandalwood. So I prefer the Parfum, but I didn't want to lead you.
No.
I like all 3. I have said on camera that Sauvage isn't my favourite aftershave of all time, and the reason for that is because it is so saturated. If you go out and there's 10 people stood there, probably a good percentage of those are going to be wearing Sauvage.
We just had Christmas come up, and an office meal we went out, and 4 out of the 6 guys in the office came out with Sauvage. So
there we go. It's popular, but it's popular for a reason. You know what? They've done a fantastic job with it, so that's why. So look, I hope you've enjoyed my special guest, Kev. We'll be back in another video very soon. We've got another video being released within the next few days, so that will come out straight after this, well, not long after. But I was visiting Kevin's, my family were visiting for the weekend, and I thought I'd get him on camera. None of my friends know I do this at all. Kevin is one of the only people within my close-knit family and friends that knows that I do this.
And he's doing a good job. Make sure you like and subscribe.
Thank you, Kevin. Yes. And what have you got to do? Don't forget to...
smell wonderful.
Keep smelling wonderful, you donut.
Do that bit again. Go.
And what have you got to do, Kev? What have you got to not forget to do?
I've got to keep
smelling wonderful.